Hey guys, so I want to read a passage from Meeting the Shadow, The Hidden Power of the Dark Side of Human Nature. This is a bunch of collections edited by Connie Zweig, I think that's how you say their name, and Jeremiah Abrams. I'm going to be reading from page 76, Shadow Dancing in the Marriage Zone by Michael Ventura. This is my favorite passage from this book about integrating the shadow. It's a little dark, right? But I think that it calls upon that nature, especially the parts of us that are, oh, goody two-shoes and everything's fine, everything's perfect. This is enlightening that other part of ourselves. Jan and I went straight from fleeing into marriage. We decided to marry within 10 days of meeting each other. This saved us from the relationship stint of getting to know each other, which usually and sadly consists of people trying out their various selves on one another, compulsively and or intentionally testing for commitment. That's not necessary for one stage of life, but like many people our age, we had done that many times. We decided this time, no tests, dance to the music. Marry it. Were we marrying each other or marrying the impulse? Good question. A question that can only be answered after it's too late. Fine, for love is nothing if it's not faith. Nothing. When Brendan was born almost 9 years before Jen and I met, Jan had sent out announcements with the old blues refrain, "Baby, I learned to love you, honey, for I called, baby, for I called your name." Love often occurs in this wise, as the old phrase goes, as though love is for calling the name, and certainly to be loved is to feel one's name called with an inflection that one has never heard before. So we found ourselves sending out wedding invitations that went, "Come on over, we ain't faking, whole lot of shaking going on." Odd now to think how small a sense of foreboding we had at that Jerry Lee Lewis's verse. Though we've only come to blows revealing old phrase, isn't it, with its odd sense of formality. Once, and she struck first, broke my glasses, and I hit her then, one time, and she slumped against the wall, both of us feeling so soiled and ugly and wrong. How many bitter, gone grandmothers and grandfathers stood in the room just then, cackling their satisfaction at our shame. Hers, Irish, mine, Sicilian. Both of them traditions that did not teach us to forgive. To learn to forgive is to break with an unforgiving past. Pause at the word forgive. For to give, forgiveness is such a gift that gives lives in the world. Christianist tradition has tried to make it a meek and passive word, turn the other cheek, but the word contains the active word give, which reveals its truth. It involves the act of taking something of yours and handing it to another, so that from now on it is theirs. Nothing passive about it. It is an exchange of faith. The faith that has been done can be undone or can be transcended. When two people need to make their exchange with each other, and could be one of the most intimate acts of their lives. One thing that forgiveness is a promise to work at the undoing, at the transcending. Marriage soon enough gives all concerned the opportunity to forgive. There have been enough broken chairs, broken plates, and one broken typewriter, my beloved old Olympia portable manual that I've had since high school and have smashed myself, to testify how desperate can be the joined desperations of all the Michaels, Jans, and Brendans. Whole lot of shaking going on and on and on. And sometimes when you're trying to break through the hardened crust inside your insides each other, some dishes and typewriters and furniture might go in the process. The most odious aspect of goody-goody, I'm okay, you're okay dialogues is their failure to recognize that sometimes you have to scream, slam doors, break furniture, run red lights, and ride the wind even to begin to have the words to describe what is eating you. Sometimes meditation and dialogue just can't cut it. Sometimes it just plain need cutting, or at least a whole lot of shaking. Anyone afraid of breaking within and without is in the wrong marriage. Let it all go. Let the winds blow. Let's see what is left in the morning. And that is the solace of marriage, a phrase that I've heard in several contexts, but am otherwise unable to comprehend. The discovery of what is unbreakable among all that's been broken. The discovery that union can be as irreducible as solitude. The discovery that people must share not only what they don't know about each other, but what they don't know about themselves. Sharing what we know is a puny exercise by comparison. And did I say that there were only myriads of Jans, Brendans, and Michaels encamped in their firelit cavern that appears to be an inexpensive old wood-frame duplex south of South Monica Boulevard in Los Angeles? Life is not so simple as even that. What about the raging mob we refer to politely as the past? Nothing abstract about the past. What has marked you is still marking you. There is a place in us where wounds never heal and where love never ends. Nobody knows much about this place except that it exists, feeding our dreams and reinforcing or haunting our days. In marriage, it can exist with a vengeance. Bloody, half-flayed, partly dead, naked, tortured, my mother really does hang on a hook in my closet, because she hangs on a hook in me. Occasionally, I have to take her out and we do a rending dance, tearing each other bloody as we go, and stuff splashes happily all over. All over Jan, several of many Jans, and several of the many Brendans, and then run for the hills, my dear, for I am in my horror. One of my several, my insistent horrors. We are all, every one of us, full of horror. If you are getting married to try to make yours go away, you will only succeed in marrying your horror to someone else's horror. Your two horrors will have the marriage. You will bleed and call that love. My closet is full of hooks, full of horrors, and I also love them. My horrors, I know they love me, and they will always hang there for me because they are also good for me. They are also on my side. They gave me so much to be my horrors. They made me strong to survive. There is so much in our new enlightened lexicon to suggest that one may move into a house that doesn't have such a closet. You move into a house and think everything is fine until after a while you start to hear a distant screaming and start to smell something funny and realize slowly that the closet is there all right, but it's been walled over. And just when you need desperately to open it, you find yourself with bricks instead of a door. In our cavern on the hillside in this apartment, there's quite a closet where my hooks hang next to Jan's and to Brendan's. It's amazing how many you can accumulate at the mere age of 11, which are also there for their good and harrowing reasons. For a marriage to be a marriage, these encounters do not happen compulsively or accidentally. They happen by intention. I don't mean that the encounters with all the various cells and ghosts are planned. That's not possible, though they can sometimes be consciously evoked. I mean that this level of activity is recognized as part of the quest, part of the responsibility each person has for him, herself, and for the other, which is the major difference between the expectations of a marriage and a relationship. My experience of relationship is two people more or less compulsively playing musical chairs with each other's selected inner archetypes. My tough street kid is romancing your honky-tonk angel. I am your homeless waif and you are my loving mother. I am your lost father and you are my doting daughter. I am your worshiper and you are my goddess. I am your god and you are my priestess. I am your client and you are my analyst. I am your intensity and you are my ground. These are some of the more garish of the patterns, animus anima, bopping on a seesaw. These hold up well enough what these archetypal pairings behave, but when the little boy inside him is looking for the mommy inside her and finds instead on this particular night a sharp-toothed analyst dissecting his guts, when the little girl inside her is looking for the daddy inside him and finds instead a pagan worshiper who wants a goddess to lay with, which induces her to become a little girl placating a goddess to please the daddy who really a lecherous worshiper, and little girls can't come. Or if a woman is attracted to a macho man who is secretly looking to be mothered, when a man's sexual self is the service of an interior little boy, it's not surprising that he can't get it up or comes too quick. Or they're really not there at all. They're masturbating really men in their little boy psyches for whom the real woman is just a stand-in, while the woman who happens to be in the same bed, an extension of their masturbation, is wondering why, even though the moves are pretty good, she doesn't really feel slept with, and why he turns away so quickly when it's done. On the other hand, teachers fuck pupils with excitement, analysts fuck clients with abandon, and people seeing each other in bed as God and goddesses light up the sky. But the psyche is a multiple and a shifting entity, and none of these compatible pairings hold stable for long. These archetypal mismatches soon begin, and then it's a disaster of confrontations that can take years not even to sort out. It would be worth years to get it all sorted out, but simply to exhaust itself and fail. And then the cycle starts all over again with someone else. My experience of a marriage is that these are the same modes are present, but instinctively or consciously it becomes a case of two people running down each other's inner archetypes, tackling them, seducing them, cajoling them, waiting them out, making them talk, fessing up to them, running from them, raping them, falling in love with some, hating others, getting to know some, making friends with some, hanging some in the closet on each other's hooks. Hooks on which hang fathers, mothers, sister, brothers, other loves, idols, fantasies, maybe even past lives, and true mythological consciousness that sometimes come to life with one with such force that we feel a thread that goes back thousands of years, even to other realms of being. All of which is that we marry in the other, a process that goes on while we manage to earn a living, go to the movies, watch television, go to the doctor, walk on the Palisades, drive to Texas, follow the election, try to stop drinking, eating too much Haagen-Dazs. That was the reading, The Meeting of the Shadow by Michael Ventura. Shadow Dancing in the Marriage Zone. One of my favorite, raw, true works of the shadow. We enter marriage because my fucked up recognizes your fucked up and we get fucked up together. When we become conscious of this, that's when we can integrate. Thank you guys.